Elon Musk sits on Twitter every day, or X today, saying like, we are the media, you are the media. My message to Elon Musk is, you're not the media.
During an awards ceremony at the National Press Club, Axios co-founder and CEO Jim Van de Heye basically went ballistic. You got a little taste of that.
He certainly did go ballistic. This guy is big mad, bro. Like, what is going on? Like, dude, calm down. Like, well, you guys shouldn't have got so, you shouldn't have got so beside yourself. I don't know, holier than thou. What is the word of righteous? You guys been lying to people for so long. Like, people are just tired of the lies. What that is he's losing money, obviously. Oh, well. You were supposed to serve the people, not yourselves. Anyway, I'm all here for it, too. I'm here for this corporate press going nuts. Don't get it twisted, because the alternative media is bought and paid for, too. But let's go ahead and get into it.
An awards ceremony at the National Press Club, Axios co-founder and CEO Jim Van de Heye basically went ballistic. You got a little taste of that in that clip on Elon Musk, who has been repeatedly telling X users, quote, you are the media, in the wake of Donald Trump's victory over Kamala Harris. So I'm going to give you one example. This is the kind of stuff that's apparently setting off Jim Van de Heye. So Elon Musk wrote, the reality of this election was plain to see on X. While most legacy media lied relentlessly to the public, you are the media now. Please post your thoughts and observations on X, correct others when wrong, and we will have at least one place in the world where you can come to find the truth. Now,
that would be very, like, you know what I mean? Like, that would make me feel really good if it were true, okay? Seriously, I would feel like, oh, that's what's up if it were true. But the fact is that it's not even like that on Twitter. The fact is there's nowhere that you can get 100% the truth. Okay, let me take that back. On Twitter, if somebody's having a Twitter space that is devoted to giving out the truth, that's different because they're talking to you. So, which brings me to my next point. The only place I think you get the 100% truth is through dialogue. Seriously, through dialogue, where you can bring facts together and work it out together. Because at this point, I really don't trust too many people. And it's not about trust. It's just, you don't got to give me the big, you are the media now. Because guess what? When y'all start talking big like this, but we see that this month, Elon Musk went on a rampage, okay, with this H-1B1 visa thing where, and of course, a lot of people aren't reporting this, a lot of accounts were shut down, including Groyper accounts. And I know, the Groypers are bad. I don't care. First of all, I don't have no beef with Groypers, with Nick Fuentes. I don't have a beef with somebody who dares to say what they need to say. Now, coming back to the point, nobody talks about it because it's not socially correct to talk about. We'll get into that, right? We'll get into that. But in the meantime, this is a lie too. We're not. But yeah, the corporate press is going down. They are going down. By the way, guys, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Okay, sorry, I took too long with that. Let's go ahead and get back into it.
I want to be clear that Elon Musk has also recently confessed to throttling certain posts. He obviously was a big funder, donor, and supporter of Donald Trump's. And so he's also the owner of X, and he gets to do whatever he wants with it. So the fact that he has fessed up to throttling certain posts, I think is something you should keep in mind. And he's also gassing people up to post more on X. It's his business. He wants people to be more engaged on the platform. But overall, I do think that the general message here is a good one, because I do think that citizen journalism, I do think that people in independent media or new media bring fresher perspectives to the table. I certainly think that independent journalists tend to be more of the muckrakers that we tend to think of when journalists actually held politicians accountable in this country. But Van de Heye not really liking that message at all. He doesn't like this rhetoric. So let's hear more of what he had to say against social media kind of taking over when it comes to the first place people go to for news.
I hate this damn debate about we don't need the media. It is not true. Think about what makes this. I love this country. I'm a beneficiary of this country. Like some from Wisconsin who can come and start 2 companies, be up here, win an award, sit next to Mikey. I'm a beneficiary of it. But there's...
You know what? And shout out to him. You know what? Shout all the way out to him. While I do think there probably was some nepotism that got him up there, but I don't even care. I want y'all to marinate on that part. We don't have a actual class system in America. We have to be careful with the type of words lately that we've been picking up, like, oh, this is a class war. No, there's no such thing. Straight up and down. Yes. You know why? If you have an idea and you really believe in it, and you buy yourself an LLC and you put in the work, you can see the dividends. And that's straight up and down. So I'm not going to be one of these people who just simply say, oh, yeah, there's a class this and a class. No, you want to know what class system? They have that in India, where if you're a certain class of people, a caste system, whatever, if you're this certain class, you're not an aristocrat or whatever, you may not be allowed to go to school. Okay, because your family, because you can't get in. You don't have enough goats or whatever it takes for that to happen. Okay? And I'm not here to talk about how they do it over there. That's their business. But we don't have that here. And I think that people need to remember that, because we're starting to remove the agency from ourselves to be able to get things done.
Something about the country. There's something about it, right? There's something about freedom, capitalism, the animal spirits of democracy. But at the core of that is maybe transparency, maybe a free press. You having a blue check mark, a Twitter handle, and 300 words of cleverness doesn't make you a reporter any more than me looking at your head and seeing that you have a brain and telling you have an awesome set of tools makes me a damn neurosurgeon, right? Like what we do, what journalists do, what you did in Mississippi, what Al Jazeera does in the Middle East. You don't proclaim yourself to be a reporter. Like that's nonsense. Like being a reporter's hard. You have to skid up every single day and say, I want to get to the closest approximation of the truth without any fear, without any favoritism. You don't do that by popping off on Twitter. You don't do that by having an opinion.
Look, remember, this is the CEO, founder of Axios, where they report their stories in bullet points, and it drives me crazy. I just want to make that point real quick. But I also see what he's saying. I don't want original reporting to go away. And the institutions that he's defending here are the institutions who do have the journalists who go out there, gather the news, and that is important. We would not be able to do our jobs if it weren't for the real journalists out there doing their jobs. However,
okay, let me see what her however is.
I do think that there's a really big problem here and a disconnect. Back in the day, journalists used to be working class people who didn't have elite degrees. They didn't go to Ivy League.
That's not the problem. You see what I'm saying? That's not the problem. While that was true back in the day and all of that, and I get that, right? Like, I so get that. I do. I understand what she's saying. But there we go again, going back. Everybody has to be a working class. A working class. You see what I'm saying? That's not the problem. The problem is, let's keep it real. And she's not really going to talk about the problem because Peter Thiel, I think, is part of the funding for TYT. So there's no way that she's going to get all the way into about who funds the episodes and what they're allowed to talk about. Look, you want to know some truth? And I'm not going to say that person's name again because, the thing about AI is that we might kick some sort of something, and then nobody gets to see this episode. And it's just so annoying when that happens. But anyway, coming back to the point, when you have somebody like that person's name I said, who put hundreds of millions of dollars into the Trump campaign, right, who has certain agendas that he wants to have happen. Well, maybe you can't go so hard on Trump anymore, right? On this channel. Maybe you can act like you're going hard on Trump, okay? Because I certainly didn't hear yet. And now I got to be careful, but I didn't hear Ana Kasparian talk about Trump's executive order to stop all foreign aid. Yeah, clap, 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 except for to Israel, Egypt, and Jordan. I think Ukraine is in there too. Okay, that's something to talk about because to me that's a total disrespect. I thought we wanted all foreign aid to be stopped. How come nobody else is talking about this, right? I would have thought TYT would be talking about this immediately. They didn't. Back in the day, they would. Okay, I'm making a lot of speculations here, but do you see what I'm saying? So that's not the problem. The problem is that people have lost their integrity. There's a lot of disingenuous behavior, and there's a certain faction that owns the media. Let's be real. And if you can't say that, right, then I don't, even in that way, then we're not having a serious discussion. Let me just move on to the part where she talks about Morning Joe.
Let's see if there's any difference in his argument. Let's watch.
It doesn't mean there aren't things that we get wrong. And the reason I guess I was hopped up at that speech was I listened to so many reporters who feel like the industry's going to hell. Nobody trusts them. They're demoralized. And the truth is we don't have time to be demoralized. We don't have time to whine. We have to do our job. Like, there is a information war out there, and there's still tens of millions of people that depend on great reporting. And it's our job to make sure we create viable businesses around it, and that we really do try to get to the closest approximation of the truth. Maybe do a little bit, maybe be more curious than condescending, maybe a little more fearless than foaming at the mouth. And I think if we can do those things, I think we can win back people who are skeptical. The entire social media ecosystem, a lot of the things you just mentioned, they feed off of all of us trying to get to the closest approximation of truth.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously seek the truth, break stories that obviously challenge the powerful. And I will give Axios credit because one of their reporters, Alex Thompson, I believe, really stayed on the beat of what Biden's mental health was really like. And he didn't drop that story. And I'm sure he got a lot of hate and a lot of backlash. So credit.
But that's golly, the layers of issues that we have in this country that people don't even know about. Biden's mental health, I reported on that on my channel. I mean, yeah, I'm not Alex Thompson. I don't work for Axios, right? But it's not the biggest hot take to look at Joe Biden and Steve that he might allegedly, in my opinion, in my educated nursing opinion, have a neurological disorder. And I don't think it's dementia. I think it's more of a Parkinson's like tumor type of thing going on. Allegedly. And you know what? I don't wish that on him. I pray that he now can just get the rest that he needs. Yes, I know. He's done a lot of bad things, but I'm sorry, my mortality is ever so I do worship God, so I don't wish death on anybody. Okay? Now I just want to come back to something about Elon Musk. This isn't going to mean anything to you, this tweet that I put here. Again, but it means something to me, okay? I cherry pick my news and I get my information from many different sources, okay? One of them is Nick Fuentes, yes. And for some reason, one of my favorite accounts of his crew was taken out, along with so many other ones. There were so many of them that were taken out. Why? There it is. And this is exactly what I'm looking for. All of these, they were taken out. Why were they taken out? They were taken, damn, I didn't even know JDI was taken out. They were all taken, Randy was taken out. Taken out, why? Because they talked about the H-1B1 visas, because they were, making headway on the platform. They're still not back. Another one of my mutuals, big name, Suleiman Ahmed. He had his Twitter check mark removed. And let me tell you something. When you don't have that check mark, it makes it so much harder for your reach to grow, okay? This is the account. Suleiman Ahmed is one of the major accounts who has debunked so much different news. It doesn't matter. The point that I'm making is, why did he have his check mark removed? Why? So what's going on? So the reach, freedom of speech, but not reach. So miss me again with the whole Elon is saving anything, because he's really not. He has enough. This is his app to do whatever he wants. So now, when you have big things going on, there was this whole thing for there was all of these different kind of stories coming out about certain gangs that I don't want to say the names on YouTube because it'll trigger something. And there was no pushback to these stories. There was no pushback. Why? Because the pushback couldn't be seen, because freedom of speech but not reach, right? So again, miss me with. So again, So again, miss me with all of that, with all of that. Elon is saving media, or Axios getting mad, or working class people need to be the ones to. No, I just want people who have a conviction to the truth, no matter how inconvenient it is. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.